glowing. You're glowing as per usual. Hey Flo, how are
Thank
you?
you. Hey, Flo. He said he couldn't wait for tonight.
Okay, so Barbara.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you know what? I was waiting to speak to you because last week I couldn't, but you gave me some questions. You sent me some questions, and I thought, yes, we need to discuss this. You and I are always talking about relationships, which is all good. It's all good and well because most people in relationships, and I always think that it's something that's important to discuss because a lot of people need advice, but they may not necessarily go to people for it out of, shyness or embarrassment, whatever it may be. But
Yeah.
you wanted to talk about self-esteem, and it's a hot topic, and it's an important one as well. So tell us, first of all, why was self-esteem a topic that you wanted to discuss?
I think when we're talking about relationship here, I mean, relationship can be with you or with someone else. It doesn't really
Mm,
have to be with the opposite sex, but it can be just with
yeah.
yourself. And I think the center of every relationship is first your self-esteem.
Mm,
Yeah. So I think before we jump into
yeah.
the whole relationship and going forward, I think we as human beings, we need to check whether our self-esteem is intact. Because if your self-esteem is not intact, I don't think you won't be able to survive any other relationship from the opposite sex or even from your female friends or any
Yeah.
other relationship, work relationship, socialization, relationship with the society, that you have to be able to work on yourself so you can be more like an asset to the society and to yourself as well. That look at what happened now with this
Okay, yeah.
lockdown. I mean, we are living without McDonald's, we are living without KFC, we are living
Of
without,
all
you know
things.
what I mean, without these restaurants that we thought without them we couldn't live, we
Yeah.
couldn't survive. You understand what I
Mm,
mean? So I mean, you first have to work on your self-esteem. You first have to know yourself. Who are you? Because if you don't know yourself that well, and someone
important,
you
yeah.
get into a relationship with and they start to tell you this is who you are, you won't accept it because you still don't know that bit about yourself. You see what I mean? You get upset, you get defensive, and say
Hmm.
this person don't know what they're talking about, but they know what they're talking about because they have seen you from the outside point of view. You need to put yourself out, like outside your body, and see what they're seeing. That way you can correct yourself. That way you can work on this self-esteem. You see?
Yeah. I know it's not easy to do that, but Barbara, how do people work on themselves? I know I've heard this question a lot. And I've often said to people that sometimes you have to work on yourself even when you're in a relationship, because
Yeah.
before you got into that relationship, you may not even have known that there were flaws that you needed to deal with. Maybe the person you're with has brought them to your attention, so you have to work on them. But some people are of the opinion that you need to work on yourself before you get into a relationship. And we're aware.
Yeah. Hello?
Okay, Barbara, I see you nodding, but you seem to be frozen, unless it's me. Hey, Steffi, how are you?
Okay.
Loved your discussion
You're frozen for a
earlier.
bit,
Hey,
but
Famous Nail
I can hear you
6.
now. Yeah. Hey, Steffi. Yeah. I can hear you now.
Yeah. Okay,
I
great.
got everything you were saying. I got everything you were saying. Yeah. Steffi said, yeah, some people are triggered, but you do need to work on
Okay,
yourself.
great. Thank you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Miss. Yeah. I think we are in a work in progress. We humans, we are in a constant change. And when I say work on yourself, you don't need to, you're not going into that relationship to be a
Mm-hmm.
liability to that person. You're not
Right.
going to go into that relationship to lose yourself, forget yourself, and just put that person first. That's where your self-esteem comes in. So in working on your self-esteem, you must be positive. Like there are some people I've come across in life that they're never positive. Even if you give a compliment to them, they can never accept it. But you have to dig deeper. Why this person is what they are? Why are they so negative? What went wrong? And I'm
They're
telling you, when you
cynical, some of them.
very,
Mm.
very cynical,
Yeah.
like you try to dig deeper, like You can't just wake up one morning and be negative. Something must have happened. Something must have happened. Who are your friends? Who are the people around you? Who are you talking to? Who are you talking with? Who are your mentors? Who do you look up to? And what are they saying to you?
Who are you raised? How did your parents raise you also? Yeah.
Yeah. Because if you don't, you have to be positive. Yes, sometimes you get down or feel discouraged, but you always pick yourself back up. Like, life is ups and downs. If life gave you lemon, you made lemonade, all those sayings we have heard. But I mean, like,
yeah, Beyonce taught us that.
You have to be positive, and during my research, I came across lots of things. Being positive, you have to encourage yourself. I'm gonna do this. If it doesn't work, I'm gonna go back on it and see why it didn't work out. I will survive. Like now, we all are saying we're gonna survive this lockdown. We're gonna come out of it. Although we're gonna come out of it with a different, mind perspective and stuff, but we're all saying we can persevere until we succeed. And you have to identify your strength and weakness.
It's freezing up again, but I agree with Barbara.
You have to identify these things.
But it's up to us to change it, make things better.
I can hear you.
Childhood could play a big role for. Absolutely, Mrs. Alexis, as I said,
I agree with 100%.
Working on yourself is a continuous process.
Yeah. I agree with them totally. You can always continue to work on yourself throughout. When you meet someone, don't forget yourself. That's why self-esteem comes in. Do not forget yourself. You're helping them, they are helping you. That's what makes the relationship flows more. Not out of jealousy, not out of envy, but you both are being positive to each other's life. I'm not talking about toxic relationship where one person just wants to be the head and put the other person down. So when you have recognized, I know.
Yeah. It's a topic for another day. It really is. There's no time for that today. That could take forever.
Yes. Steffi said you should be building each other. Yes, you should be building each other. If that's not happening, if that's not happening with even a friendship, you are in the wrong friendship and you are in the wrong relationship. Reading and connecting with the right person. Yes. Yes. You must surround yourself with the right people and connect yourself with the right people. You're not gonna go anywhere if it's like what you were saying before. Like, if you're just gonna sit there and think you're gonna get somewhere, you're not. You have to do the job. You have to talk the talk and walk the walk and put the effort. Make time.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
It doesn't just show up like that.
Okay,
thank you.
Barbara, before we move on to the first question, I just want to ask you this, and please answer as briefly as you possibly can. Do you have to be friends before you can be lovers and then move on to being life partners?
No.
Okay. Why do you say that?
We are all on a different path in life. Some people, it works better for them. Some people can just meet their partner and know right there, this is who I want to be with. Some people, it takes length of time to recognize that. That's where the friendship is. But do not start a friendship with the hope that one of these days I'm going to be your wife or your husband. That's a wrong reason to start a friendship. You know what I mean?
Oh God, the way you said that made it sound so personal, like this was something you were experiencing.
I was funny. It's not from my experience, but I was listening to another person on YouTube, and she was talking about what you just said, and I put my comment. Everybody is different, and really and truly, what works for you may not work for me. You get what I mean? People normally complain about their spouses in relationship, and people say, I wish I had someone like your husband or like your wife or like your girlfriend. But believe me, truly, what that person is taking from you, what you're taking from them, the other person won't take from them. I'm telling you, we are different individuals. Everything that works for you may not work for me. So definitely no. Go into a friendship with the mind that you're just here for friendship. if something were to change, you have to sit down and discuss it. Our friendship is becoming more than friends. Where are we going from here? You got.
Okay. Thank you for that, Barbara. Okay. Question one. Let's move on to question one. How do you work on your self-esteem? Because we didn't really cover that. So,
Yeah.
what are your thoughts?
Well,
and feel free to comment, beautiful people.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, I did some research, and it starts by saying identify your competencies